Welcome back to my northern farm. It's been about a month since I did a video, I think. I wanted to talk about freeze drying versus dehydrating. I met someone in town that has a freeze dryer and he bought it to make cat and dog treats. So we made a little bit of a deal there. We bartered for stuff. I brought him my veggies that I grew. Freeze dried like green beans, beets, carrots, zucchini. This is my turkey we tried and it actually turned out good. At the end, I will hydrate turkey, beets, green beans, and carrots. The difference, so you look at the zucchini flour freeze dried versus zucchini flour dehydrated. And that's brown, probably because I dehydrated it at 160 Fahrenheit. And this is the shredded zucchini, and this is the freeze dried. So you can see the big difference. Dehydrated zucchini chips, like on the brown side. Freeze dried zucchini. Yeah, when you freeze dry, it's 97% of the nutrition is still good in the vitamin C, where when you dehydrate, it's only 60% good, the nutrition, but most of the vitamin C is gone. This is my Hubbard squash flour. A couple different types of squash flour. Hubbard squash chips and shredded Hubbard squash. Is my dehydrated horseradish. So I have about 10 jars of canned beets downstairs that I pressure canned last year, so they're over a year old. So I'm just gonna freeze dry them and turn them into chips like this one here. So then this way they don't go to waste. And we can actually still hydrate them and use them as a veggie if we want, but I'll also use them as a chip. And I have a bunch of beets outside that I can freeze dry and make chips out of, or powder, because they say beet powder is very good for you. It helps lower blood pressure and helps detox. And you can also use it for a lot of nutrients. So it's very good for you, and then you can use it as a sweetener. So I make all this squash flour because I want to try to get rid of flour. And I make bread and muffins, and I actually made a pizza with just eggs and the squash flour. So there's less sugar and carbs in it, because I have diabetes, so I'm trying to eat healthier. And all these green beans and beets and carrots, you can eat them like chips. I'll show you, like they literally snap like a chip. Tastes pretty good. You get all the nutrition from it, like a raw veggie. I actually freeze dried so some plain beets, and I actually freeze dried pickled beets, which are pretty good. So they're pretty crunchy. So I couldn't eat any of this until I did a video, because then I wouldn't have much left. So I want to give up chips and eat these veggies. Try to get on track on my eating. So I have the plain beets outside. I'm gonna freeze dry them, turn them into chips. They'll actually be better than these ones because these were pressure cans, so they're already been cooked. These ones I'll blanch and freeze dry. But I still have these squashes here to freeze dry, which is a Hubbard, crookneck, kabocha, and acorn. And then the only reason why I did all this zucchini first is because it was going bad faster. Out of all this experimentation, I only had a couple little screw ups. I tried strawberries, which I bought from the grocery store, frozen, but I put them on as a whole and they were too big. So by the time they were done, I took them out. The next day they were rehydrated again, or spongy, because they weren't totally freeze dried. I also had the same problem with, I did broth, did it as ice cubes, and they were good the first night I got it, but then I just stuck it in the shelf and went to work for the next 3 days or 2 days, and didn't notice it hydrating. So some of them must have been still wet in the middle, weren't totally freeze dried, so they hydrated itself, so now it's gone to waste. So you can also freeze dry broth, so if it's done correctly, which it's my fault because I did it as ice cubes, so they're probably about 1 inch by 1 inch thick, where if you just poured and filled up the tray, it would be about half an inch, and it would have all freeze dried. I think he had it in there for like 30-40 hours, and it wasn't long enough. So by me being gone to work for a couple days, I missed it. I could have maybe caught it in time. So now it's spongy and it's probably no good, so I'm throwing it out. Can't risk getting sick. It's turkey broth, because usually what I would have done is powdered it, and I would have noticed if there was anything not done. So my mistake, ran out of time. Seems like with this homesteading stuff, it's just not enough time. So live and learn. And in a minute I'll hydrate a few things just so you can see. So I'm gonna hydrate some green beans, beets, carrots, and turkey. And here it is. So here's the turkey. See how it just breaks up? So I have some hot water here. I'm gonna hydrate this. Usually I'd use broth when I'm eating it, but it's just for this purpose. I'll let it sit for probably 10-15 minutes. So it was about 10-15 minutes. I dumped the water out, and this is what it looks like. Remember how it broke? Now it's just like it was. It's actually still crunchy because it was just blanched when I freeze dried it. There's a green bean, carrot. See, it still looks exactly the same. So a little bit of crunchy. The beet, these were the plain beets. Still very sweet. And here's the turkey. See how before it was just breaking apart? Still shredded. Exactly the same before I freeze dried it. Except for a little waterlogged. That's why it would have been better. Put too much water in it, probably could just put enough. I haven't tried enough to know exactly how much to put in. And that's why the broth is actually good to put in with it. But it tastes exactly like turkey, the texture. So if any of you guys can leave a comment telling Jackie to let me buy a freeze dryer, that would be awesome. Because they're probably about $3,000, if not more, and that'll be a small one. I really like it for the fact of making chips or raw vegetables. frees up space in the freezer if you freeze stuff like turkey. So there's all turkey in there, and that help keep them preserved. I have to help keep them preserved, I have oxygen absorbers in the jars and the bags, and yeah, I really like it. So I'm gonna continue bartering with the guy in town that has the freeze dryer, and this is great. So this actually shows me if I really want one or need one by being able to have him do this for me. So now I know for sure I like it, because I'd hate to spend $3,000-$4,000 and not like the product. And like I said, it lasts for 25 years at least in the cupboard, as long as it's packaged right. And yeah, so leave a comment what you think, like and subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.